Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Swanton Village Board of Trustees for Monday, August 22nd, 2022. We'll start our evening by joining me with a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item, agenda review. Do we have any requests for changes? No changes?
No, sir.
Executive session? Do we need an executive session? What?
Do you want the update for the ridge
Uh,
on the agenda?
We can,
Oh, okay, yeah, I can. So
I can add that under
we're added under necessary business,
either that
public comment?
or I can put it right after 6.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
okay, we'll put you in early so you can.
I was thinking number 6 didn't seem so early.
Okay, so as far as the agenda review, we're gonna add an update on the Riviera Hotel project after we approve the warrants. So, anything else? Next item, public comment. The public would like to comment. We just have,
Josh Ellerbrook,
we have the messenger.
that's the messenger.
I think so, yep.
Okay.
So, so no public comment. Item number 5, approve and accept the minutes from our Monday, August 8th, 2022 meeting as presented.
Move we approve the minutes from August 8th as presented.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to approve our August 8th minutes. Any discussion, revisions on that? If not, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion is carried unanimously. Item number 6, approve and accept our village warrants through Thursday, August 18th, 2022. You have a copy of those in your packet. What's your pleasure on the warrants?
I would make that motion, the 11th through the 18th.
And I'll second.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to approve the village warrants through the 18th of August. Any discussion, questions on that? Adam, you're letting us down here.
No.
You usually have a question.
Well, one question I had was on the number 76, 85446 for SS Vermont Solar. Are those numbers going down?
It's a good question. I'd have to go back and compare for prior months and stuff, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But those are the two solar fields that are down in front of here.
Those are the ones we pay too. Yeah. Just curious if
Good question. I'll look into that.
Okay, any other questions, concerns?
No.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion is carried to accept the village warrants. Item number 6.5, our update on the Riviera Hotel project, which is moving steady anyways. I think Elizabeth is here to fill us in. Our Economic Development Coordinator, Elizabeth Nance. Would you like to go?
We kind of wait, slow when things have picked up. You may have seen some activity in the last week or so. The dirt that is out front should be moved sometime next week. We got the estimate, they're going, because that is going to be paid for by the Petroleum Cleanup Fund. A couple of hoops, administrative hoops we have to jump through, nothing major, so that should be gone next week, working with Public Works on that, to get that out of there. One thing we had talked about, I think it was at the last meeting, was not using the sub-grant funds from regional planning for this asbestos abatement. At the time, the estimate that we were given was probably about 30,000. Well, that was a wee bit low. They're thinking, KAS is thinking it's gonna be at least 50.
At least.
At least, because, at least, but right around, so they suggested, so Reg and I and Greta Brunswick had a conversation, and there was some sense of urgency to making this decision. So, we did submit an application for funding for that sub-grant. It is a grant, it does not have to be paid. It was a little confusing because it's through their revolving loan fund, but they have some monies allocated for grant funding. So that's where there was a little bit of confusion. So it is technically through their revolving loan fund, but it is a grant, so it does not have to be paid back. So we did submit the application for $65,000. They are moving forward with getting that approval for that grant application. The good news is it will not slow things down. I look at Adam when I say this, because Adam's the one who's asked me for 2 years in a row when that building is coming down, which is why I look at Adam. We are on target as of now to bring that building down late October, early November. We did meet, Neil and I met with a demolition guy this morning. I reached out to him last week. I want to get on their radar because everybody's busy, as we know. You want to build something, tear something down, people are busy, so we want to get on their radar. Really nice guy, very responsive. He's out of Fairfax. We did not get an estimate from him. We just did a site visit so he could get a sense of the building, and he has some recommendations that all seem, some fencing for safety reasons. You don't want people, too close to the site, and some other things, and some things that Neil and I hadn't thought of. So keeping in mind your bid process, we know we need to get 3, so we will certainly do that. This guy is having hip surgery like October 15th, so he's thinking for him to do it would be mid-November. The other thing he said is they don't care about the weather. They will work in the winter. In fact, sometimes it's better to work in the winter. So, but
Smells better.
well, so we just don't want to push it out. Great if he doesn't care if it's January. We care if it's January only because this has been kind of a long drawn-out process. So we have that moving on. I think Neil's going to reach out to get some of those the items that people that express some interest in, to get those out. So we are currently on target for the end of October, early November, to bring that building down. So.
Elizabeth, the snow pile in the front is not going to be, the barrels in the back going to be taken care
It's
of
all,
at the same?
yeah, the dirt pile, because that's what Reg and I have been working on, because they need an excavator to get it into the truck, so that's what I've been focusing on, but it's all of that will be gone. Excuse me, sometime next week. Yes, sir.
Refresh my memory again. What are the services we're getting for $50,000?
That's the asbestos abatement, so that is the floor tiles on the first floor. That is the wall and ceiling tiles in the laundry room on the first floor, and that is the removal of the pipe insulation in the basement.
And who's going to do this?
There will be a bid process for that because of the amount, because it's it'll be
At
funded.
least a Vermont company?
Oh, yeah, there KAS is the one that we'll work with to do this. They'll oversee it, so they will oversee the bid process. There are a number of Vermont companies who do it, so that's it can be a problem.
The Catholic Church recently had it done in the basement of the church.
And you
So
said,
they did a very good job.
and you said that
You
was
mind telling me how much that was?
30?
Yeah.
I mean,
It might have been closer to 45 for the
Yeah,
actual.
because they ran into a problem.
Yeah.
And
Ran
how long
into
did
a pile
it
of
take them to
stuff
do
that we
that?
didn't know was there.
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Took a while.
Okay,
So it's about 45.
thank you for your,
I wanted to update you on the grant agreement part, so you weren't surprised. But it
It's
just,
expensive.
because it could be more, it looked likely will be much more than we originally thought. And it is a grant. There is a 20% match, but that's still less than paying the whole 50,000. So.
And it doesn't slow down the time frame.
It does not slow down the time. They are moving, because it's the village and I represent the village on regional planning's board. And I'm on the Brownfield committee, but it's a conflict of interest for me, so I couldn't be involved in that. But the board of commissioners, the executive committee has to approve it as well. That she's looking to schedule a meeting for next week, so, but even based on that, we're still, timeframe is
Cool.
good, so.
Appreciate it all.
So, Elizabeth, the assessment fee from KAS was 30 grand.
No, that was the original estimate, a rough estimate from regional planning. KAS, they're the ones who said it's probably gonna be at least 50,000. So that's what we based the,
So is the 50,000 the assessment and the cleanup, or just the cleanup?
that's the cleanup. The assessment's already been done.
Well, it's not final.
Yeah, I mean, they found the
Yeah,
asbestos.
but their
is-
report isn't back yet
No,
until the end
right,
of the
no,
month.
the 50,000 is
That
just.
was 50,000 for the assessment, and it's another 50 for the
No, the
cleanup?
assessment was 38. The phase 2 assessment was 38 and change.
Well, that's where I was going with that. Their original estimate was around 30 for that, the phase 2
Was,
assessment. So it was 38.
it came in at 38,
Okay.
yes.
And
The
then the-
asbestos abatement alone,
We're
just by
wrong
itself, is the 50.
Okay.
You can track 10-20% based on inflation, can't
And we'll stay tuned for
you? They
the
cannot?
demolition charges, so.
Demolition will be interesting.
Yeah.
You would know better than I do. I have zero idea what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
Doesn't take long.
He anticipated 2 days. That's what he told me. He said it's harder, despite the condition, old buildings don't come down that easily because they built well. So,
Doesn't take long.
he did say, this is not his first rodeo. Leave everything other than those things that you want out, leave it there. He'll
Yeah.
break the windows
Don't bother
in,
cleaning
so you
them
don't
out.
have flying glass. You seem, so,
Cool. So. And as far as he asked how much we wanted to take out, if we want to take the basement walls and everything out. And there's another wall right next to it where the little store was. I told him I want to take all that out, but didn't have to fill a hole in, because if somebody comes in to do something else, you don't want to have the hole all filled in, then have to dig it out again.
Right,
So
exactly.
just basic, and he can grade what he got there, so it's not dangerous,
Right.
which I thought was a good idea, so. But, anyway, we told him to get back to us, and I let a couple other fellows that, are gonna look at it, haven't looked at it yet, but we'll get 3 bids together.
and I'm hoping to have them by the next trustees meeting, so we can get on their calendar, get it settled, get on their calendar, you all approve it, go through your process, get on their calendar. I don't want us to stop, because we're waiting on something we could have already done. We've waited long enough.
So, for sure.
So get with me so we can figure out a scope of work, because I had one contractor ask if we had a scope of work that we were looking for.
Okay. Which, kind of what I like, because when I reached out to this guy, I had no idea, other than I just know we want the building down. And he was going to kind of do a scope of work, and based on what we talked about today, we can put something together.
Okay.
What he will do, because the fluorescent lights he'll take care of, but there's a CO2 or O2 canister in there, and some paint cans and some things, little things that need to be taken out prior to, but we
Yeah,
can
but
do that.
Are they gonna go in even though it's dangerous?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, put a big piece of plywood in front of it.
I mean, it's,
I just don't want anybody getting hurt.
no, as long as you pay kind of attention to where you're walking, I mean, there is a big giant hole, if you fall in that, you were not looking, but.
And the
I
basement,
don't care.
the basement isn't a full basement. None of it is a full basement. The deepest part is under the dining room and the bar room area, just the front third of it. The rest of it is just crawl space, so and it's mostly stone. There's some concrete poured up against the stone on the front wall, but most of it is stone, so. But it should be interesting to see it come down, so.
Yeah, how old is it, do you think?
Pardon?
How old is the building? The oldest part.
So we've traced it back, we think, as far as 1865. The historic preservation folks are still doing, we did the walkthrough last Monday. I think we might just have a standing Monday, was it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay. They're doing some further research, but we know it's at least mid-1800s.
There's a lot of stone.
So, like Elizabeth said, the good news is it's moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try to keep all the ducks in a row so they don't go over the dam. So, okay. Well, thank you very much. And next item is discussion of an update of bridge repairs. I think Reg is going to enlighten us on that.
Yeah, so talked with Dean, I talked with the contractor that was awarded the bid, ECI. And because of the work that's getting done on Route 78, and I asked Dean and also the engineers basically asked, you know, the repairs that we did, will that get us through the winter? And they can start in the spring, and Dean said yes. So if that other plate needs to get done, what we had done, we can do that, you know, a couple hours, and we'll be good through the winter.
Should we just do it? Should we just do it?
We may just do it, yes.
Yeah.
Just so we don't have to play with it in the winter.
Right.
And I think we can probably wait until the state is done with the 78 business, because we may have traffic problems.
And I'm still trying to
If I had
find,
2 traffic problems on the same road, that would be a mess.
It would only be a couple, 3 hours.
And we can wait.
Yeah.
Well, it won't take too long.
I'm still trying to find that gap too.
Do the work.
Yeah, so the 150,000, so trying to find that money too.
Any luck so far?
I had a positive conversation last week
Yeah,
with an individual, or the week before,
yeah,
so just need to follow up this week.
good. Well, you haven't been back very long. Gee.
I know I should get on it.
Yes, please.
Okay, good enough.
So, last meeting, there was some concerns that if you do the repair work, that the state might kick it back over, you know, backdate doing the work, thinking, well, you've done enough to make it work. We won't do this in 2025. Since I sit on the Transportation Advisory Committee through regional planning, I reached out to Bethany at regional planning to ask her that question. And she said, because it's now on the state's list of projects, there is a meeting mid-September that she'll have more information, but her sense is it will continue to move forward because now it's on the list. The struggle up until
Last year,
the end of last year, I think, was getting it on the state
As a
solicitor.
matter of fact, it was
project.
last year, August, when we had the conversation with Senator,
Federal delegation.
the federal delegation.
So I'm cautiously optimistic, but we should know more about timeframes and when the feasibility study will be done and all that stuff that has to, by the end of September. But her sense is now that it's on the list of projects, it will move forward, instead of them saying, let's put it off.
I'll play the pessimist for the time being.
Well, that's, I'm used to it.
So, question, just an update on the downtown scoping study for the streetscapes and everything. Where are we with that?
Because of it took V-Trans a while to get us the executed grant agreement, we're looking at the spring at this point. There's some work that needs to be done through an engineer with the sidewalk, particularly in front of Merchants Row. So we'll look at spring to start that.
Okay. And that was gonna be a phased in thing, we weren't gonna do the whole thing at once, or?
Correct. There were certain things, there was there was the all-way stop at First Street and Grand Avenue. There was the crosswalk from the Village Green to the gas station, that long one. Then there was shortening that. Then there was the relocation of the crosswalk from the Chamber Building to Merchants Row. Moving that, I guess that was off the hill. And then the sidewalk for Merchants Row with the four things.
Okay.
That's a handicap thing,
And
get that done.
Yep.
an interesting fact that I just found out, that I probably should have known about it, but, the Masonic Lodge owns that alleyway, that property that goes between the stores. Masonic Lodge owns that alleyway.
That doesn't surprise me.
So, and the owner of the House of Pizza, the girl that's running the House of Pizza, was wondering if she would be able to put some outside seating, outside dining area in there. And if it doesn't belong to the village and the lodge is okay with it, we could block that alleyway off. We'd have to have access around the back of the building, which now, most of the lodge and Renee Chaffee, that owns the Rexall building, have expanded the parking lot and cleaned it up in the back now. So, and with our entrance on the end, it's a lot easier, even if cars are parked in there, it's a lot easier for trucks to get around the back instead of pushing through that alleyway. So that would be a plus for the ambiance of downtown, so to speak, and get the trucks to go around the end. And in addition to that, where are we at with the person that owns that lot on the corner? And does he want to sell it yet, or are we just leasing it for 100 years, or?
We've been leasing it for I don't know how long, and we continue to lease.
How about
I'll have to see if I can't find, I've had issues finding the phone number.
Yeah, talk to Diane. So the ladies in the front office, they probably have the phone number.
They're paying for it, so they've got some address or something.
Because if we could get that piece of property, we could push the parking, increase the parking and over to the Ferry Street,
Right.
and make an even easier sweep for the
Yeah,
trucks that might
for
go
the truck.
behind the stores,
Yeah.
and for the employees and everybody else to park back there, so.
That could
It'd be
part of the
nice.
scoping.
I'll work on reaching out to the owner.
Okay, good,
It's
and see if,
outside the scope, but it can be done at the same time.
Mhm.
okay, good. Anyway,
Good ideas.
I was in the House of Pizza, and the gal was asking me about that.
They've been busy.
So,
Have they?
Yeah.
and more good news is We're signing a lease agreement with a party to go into Masonic Building, the old Ben Franklin's gym there, on Wednesday. And they want to be in there by October 1st. Can't give you any details yet, but we're supposed to sign a lease on Wednesday. So we'll have some activity in Merchants Row again, so that's good. So,
Well, good stuff.
okay. Okay, any other necessary business? I have the most important business
I got,
to mention. What? Oh, you got some?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll let you go now.
So I got a letter from Wayne Elliott last week when we were out to the conference. So the state has issued the draft intended use plan with the list of projects. The Missisquoi River Crossing water line is in the fundable range and qualifies for 50% disadvantage subsidy and 0% loan. We are coordinating the subsurface investigation on the river for early fall, so we'll have some better data on updated costs. Let us know your thoughts here on proceeding with a bond vote. So I just need to get back to Wayne on proceeding with that.
Yeah.
Takes,
I think that's
like
good.
30 days or 20 days to get a bond vote up.
30 days?
I think it's 30.
Yeah, you're right.
The 30 days, Lynn, do you remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. For some reason, 30 days sticks in my head too.
We wouldn't want to slow things down. So we better do it
Yeah, get it warned.
this week.
Yeah. So it sounds like good news,
Yeah.
especially as the funding's available. Before it dries up, we'll keep it going.
Yeah.
As soon as we get the money numbers from Wayne. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good news too. For me, that's good.
Got it for you, Rich?
Yep.
Anybody else?
No, sir.
We already said the car show went well.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
One other item, just for everybody to remember, in the future, when the new bridge is proposed, I've worked hard and reminded everybody a lot about a secondary line. You take the old bridge out, you lose a line. Make sure that the new one has a line. Okay? We don't want to forget it,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a
Please.
good point, yeah.
because people
It's
will.
what they call
I mean,
redundancy.
I want you to go down and take a look at that line someday, guys, if you haven't. And about 50 feet from this end of it, you can see it goes like this. And they didn't dare pull it up anymore. Because it would have broken it.
When we went and re-insulated it, we were afraid that the supports were rusted, so we put the supports back in, but we're afraid if we brought it up, it would have cracked it, so we just insulated it as is.
It's okay, it comes water, right?
Yep.
Just water. Yeah, just
all that
water.
matters.
Expensive water, so.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Just,
Okay, thank you,
just
Gene.
in case.
Chris?
I'm all set. Remember.
So, anybody else have any? anything? Well, I have a real important necessary business, make an announcement tonight. As everybody knows, the whole world is in a drastic change, and Swanton Village is in a drastic change as well. We opened a book on a new phase of Swanton Village 12 years ago. We hired a new village manager, Reg Beliveau, and it's with some grief that I have to announce that Reg has chosen to retire from his village manager position as of the end of the year. So, I mean, we wish Reg well. We appreciated him being a part of the community. He will still be a part of the community, but times change, and that's one of the things that's going to change this year for us. And with that being said, I'll turn it over to Reg to give you his rendition of the plan, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've kind of been talking about this for a while, trying to prep, you know, what the best steps were gonna be to make the announcement, but there's so many projects that are, you know, still ongoing that, you know, I agreed for, to stay on part-time in the transition of the position as well as these projects, so, I guess from between now and the end of the year, we can determine what that should look like. Have you folks, you know, brainstorm what that should look like, you know, as long as it's part-time, so Rita doesn't chase me about, you know, I thought you said you were retired. But, I mean, today we announced it to the employees, and I still have some I gotta touch base on tomorrow, but for me, the hardest part is the employees, each individual. I mean, I work for them. You know, I make sure that they have good coworkers, I make sure they have all the tools to get their jobs done, and I take obstacles down. You know, I work for them, and I think they're the best employees that anybody could have, bar none. So that's the hardest part for me, is leaving them.
Not us, then. Not us, but them.
Oh, you guys too.
Okay.
Yeah,
I hate to
I mean,
lose you, let me tell you that.
So,
I appreciate that, but
But I understand. Life goes on.
I mean, when I look at the career as far as managing, I was 14 years managing at IBM, you know, departments, projects, programs. And now with this one, it's gonna make 26 years. And it's like, yeah. Honestly, you know, COVID took a toll out of me. You know, the passing of Scott Mueller took a toll out of me. You know, losing an employee like that, it's pretty tough. You know, I've had other employees, you know, working at IBM that, you know, died or whatever, but this one, for some reason, hit home. You know, he was a writer, I was a writer, so I got the slingshot, so I had more rubber underneath me. You know, and I've had close calls in my life too. I was transported by a helicopter years ago in a motorcycle accident. And God willing, he kept me here to do some work, I guess.
there you go.
He wasn't done with you yet.
No,
And I don't think we are either. I think we're all in agreement that, you know, for special projects, and we've got several coming, a well-purposed individual, a person with good skills won't be able to do it alone. I've been of that opinion for a couple of years. And we could get some help at your level or somebody like that. So, I'm glad that you may have publicly committed to working part-time.
yeah, I owe it to the village, I owe it to the employees, I owe it to you guys.
And I think you can use the extra money. You never know.
Never know. Never know. Yeah. A little extra never hurts. For sure.
We probably wouldn't need you so much in the wintertime if that's of any benefit to know. You might want to go
Don't say
floater or
that.
something like that.
Don't say that. If we.
You never
want it,
know.
we want to know it.
You never know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, wintertime, I mean, there's still hydro relicensing.
You know, the wintertime, you know, can you imagine the rainfall that just fell in the Texas to Mexico area and that sort of thing? If that was 200 miles, 300 miles north in the wintertime, just think about it.
Yep. Yep. You know, the other positions that I hold, you know, like with the DRB,
Yeah.
I believe I'll stay on that. The emergency management director, I've been, let's see, we've been married 33 years, so 34 years. I think I've been doing that for Swanton.
And that's a special skill, and we would really hate to lose that too. Good, you're gonna stay on that?
At this point, yeah, I'd keep doing that. If we get another 2018 flood and I implode on myself, no, all holes are off, all bets are off on that one.
Well, that's an extraordinary thing, I believe.
But,
So,
you know, thank you folks for your support all these years, and we'll hope for a smooth transition.
I'm sure the community, and we thank you for your 12 years in the role. Well, actually, it's 12 years as village manager, but you've had a commitment to the village of Swan, or the community of Swan for a lot longer than that. That's why you were great for the village manager's job. So.
Appreciate that.
And so moving forward, we'll be looking to fill Reg's position sometime before the first of the year. And we'll keep you posted on that as to when the applications are going out. So, but I mean, I can't say enough about this team. I've been on this board for 23 years. And if it wasn't a great place to be, I wouldn't be here for 23 years. So we had a great team when we first started, and Reggie improved that team dramatically, and we're going to endeavor to keep the team together and do our best for the community of Swan. So, and we're going to miss him. But he's not leaving town, so
That's
we know
right.
where he lives. So.
Year round.
So, that being said, is there any other business to be brought before this?
Did you hit record, by the way?
Yep.
The one
Okay.
Diane to come at me.
That being said, we don't need an executive session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting of the Swanton Village Board of Trustees.
So,
Second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn this meeting tonight. Thank you all for attending, and all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Sorry about that, I got sidetracked. Those opposed? Alrighty, good. Thank you, everyone. This meeting is adjourned.